wouldn't do this, but there's like a free advertisement I want to show everybody real quick. Here you go. Boom. It seems kind of cool and all, that's all. All right. I love it when I forget to turn the volume on. So anyway, let's see. What did I just say? Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I said some other crap. I'll start from scratch. In Twitter, authentication works a couple different ways. I ran into a total roadblock last week working with it. It just couldn't get it to work, couldn't get any results to come back. It kept saying the key was bad or out of date or some crap like that. Anyway, you can do it in OAuth 1 or OAuth 2, like I was saying. I'm just going to fill this out real quick. We'll call this code.blog. I'm just doing this to show you what it gives you. I think it's about it. Oh, this is required too. I will use it to do things and then delete it. It won't be a complicated app, but I need 100 characters. There we go. Okay. So you create it and yeah, bunch of mess. And this is, of course, after you go through these days, the kind of ridiculous Twitter process. The Twitter process, you have to send them information, ask permission to use the API. Then you have to tell them that basically you're not going to do anything that competes with them or their revenue stream or their pipeline. And you have to say you're not going to do bots that are political and some other junk, even though obviously we know that that's the bane of their existence right now. But for the most part, once you basically tell them, in all honesty, all I want to do is build a Twitter app that like I can pull some information from about a few users or something like that, just some general purpose stuff, then they're fine. Here you go, a Twitter account against the API. So that's what I did, and now I have access. So I can build little apps and stuff against the API. Now, once you've done that, you have to set up a thing that depends on how much cache of tweets you have and things like that. But that's once you can read through the docs on that part. But once you do that, then you set up the app just like this, and then you have your keys and tokens. So the important ones are your consumer API keys in this case, because what I finally got to work was the using the consumer API keys. I was able to get the OAuth 2 identity authentication mechanism to work, but I couldn't get OAuth 1 to work, which required like all four of them, which if you create access tokens, you get these two. And there was some weird confusion about like, do you use this access token or do you have to pull and get an active access token? And I wasn't really sure how exactly Twitter was even using OAuth 1, which I had worked against in the past, and it just seemed confusing. So anyway, I've ended up using OAuth 2. I'll show you how I implemented that, and we can just forget OAuth 1 altogether. No point in beating around with the thing that doesn't really work. So let's see here. We're not using this one, so I'm going to delete it. Hope they don't really get real upset with me, the great gods of Twitter. And this is my app that we're using. I already have the credentials out where they need to be in pertinent places, like set up in environment variables, which I also talked about in one of the previous sessions. So I won't go into that again this time. So I'll go ahead and open up GoLand and get the code base pulled up, and we'll take a look at where we had gotten to. So I got the basic CLI and the skeleton fleshed out with Cobra, and then I implemented parse, put, as the IDE loads, and refactored a good bit of stuff too. So I actually have each of the formats that it exports to broken out into a little structure here, and then a function for each one of those. Probably do a little more refactoring and minimize that code even more in the future. And then the config. I have this where, as you can see, I got it set up to store all of the keys and secrets and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it is 100% more OAuths. That is so true. The funny thing is, though, Twitter still has so many examples sitting around out in the Twitterverse and the internets that are OAuth 1, and those examples kind of suck. They're very frustrating to deal with. It just seems like a flaky process. But anyway, what I've done, instead of masking these, I spit out the first 6 characters just to show that they're there in the config, just so you can get an idea and make sure things are set up in the config. So like if you move to a different machine with your CLI, you can run it and go, oh, okay, I have the environment variables set or I don't. I have the configuration values set or I don't, and I need to set them. So the other thing though is this, I know I don't need the access token or the access token secret that the API site generates for me. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the consumer API key and the consumer API secret. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that out and go back into the root where I had originally set up binding. I guess I already did this at some point, but I did a check against the bind environment for the consumer key and the consumer secret, which I put in my environment variables on the machine. Or in the case of Goland, I added them in my build right here. And then I put them inside, I wrapped them in the check functions, which if we go to helpers, it's just this. All it does is print out the error if the error blows up. And Goland is helpful. Like if you see this out here, it'll underline it and tell you there's an unhandled error, because it'll return an error if there is an error that occurs in the binding event. So that resolved that issue. All right, so those are all good. And then let's just go through some executions here. Twitz will prove that I have a good init of the CLI still. There we go. Oh, and I kind of need to add some good documentation here. And then parse, we'll parse what I have in the twitterers.txt file, which right now is just thrashing code. And then config should, bloomp, there we go. Oh, I got a fatal panic, but I'll tell you about that in just a second. So it does work. But let's talk about this crazy fatal panic, which is something that I spent like 4 hours fiddling with. Like, what in earth would it be? Well, the way that for some reason, I was trying to figure it out, but right here, this refers to this dependency, which is the project that's out in GitHub. And what it's erroring out on is something that doesn't exist anymore. So out on the GitHub repo, in here, the other bound events still occur, and when you try to config them and look at them, right here, these slices error out because there's nothing there for them to look into. So if we look here, we go into this, into Twitz, into command, and then we look at root. See, it blew up on that line because it's trying to load the stuff and it's just not working. So one way to fix it is come here, delete this, and then hold on, don't get carried away, Goland. Don't run the dependency stuff yet. All right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and commit what I just did. Oops. Oh, that's a good message. And I'm going to push that. Hit save now and push. How's that background music? Is it too loud? Can you still hear me fine? All right, there we go. So now if I get status, everything's committed. I'm going to push it up there. Everything's up to date now. So now I need to run dep ensure. And once that's done, it'll put the vendor directory back there. Put. Come on, internet. Speed up. Maybe, maybe not. Just go straight out to it. Let's have to spell the commands right. Yeah, okay, so one ops to complete. Yeah, you failed. Huh. That was weird, it got stuck. But the vendor directory is back, like expected. So there's my code. I can go in and look. This should be updated along with config. Oh, it still has these old bits in it. So that doesn't need to be there. And yes, I'm going to do this horrible thing and edit this for the moment. No, I don't want to add that. But I should be able to run it. There it goes. See, the error went away as long as I fix that code in there. So in a minute, that really confuses me why that. Oh, that's why it saved the file after this. So this wasn't saved when I committed it just a second ago. No changes. Oh, Goland, you're out of sync now. Anyway, let's go ahead and move forward with what we got. So we got the consumer API key and the consumer secret. Now out on the Go Twitter page, which is the API I'm using to get the Twitter data stuff. It's a pretty good API. However, I would say that it's a little confusing, and I wasn't the only one. Looking up the error messages, I went through and I ended up on one of these issues over here. This one. And I was like, okay, this doesn't seem super related. But as I scrolled through, it hit me. What they did made sense for this particular issue, where they actually used, oh, is this it? Yep, that might not have been the error. It might have been, oh, this is it, I think. Yeah, because here's my error message that I was getting originally, which was ridiculous because I had just gotten the keys. I had just refreshed both of them, rolled the keys, and I'm like, all right, it's brand new. It's like 20 seconds old. And I was still getting that message. So I went through this one, and then down below a bit, I realized, oh yeah, I probably need to do this whole gnarly thing. But it's not listed anywhere over here in the example in the README file, which it probably needs to be listed because it just makes it look super simple right here. Like, oh, I just do this. And then my token is just from this thing. Like I just use this access token. But no, it doesn't quite work that way. And that's what we're going to dive into right now. What I needed is basically to be able to have a function that would go out and, well, get a bearer token. And once I get the bearer token, then I can use that to do the next steps. And all I need for the bearer token is the consumer API key and the consumer API secret. So in my helpers file of functions, I'm going to actually start writing this get bearer token. So let me grab a little timestamp here. Bearer token for the video, and then I can make it a particular call out. All right. So the first thing I need to do, I'll just put it right up here at the top. Func get bearer token. And I need to pass in the consumer key and the consumer secret, which will both be strings. And then I'm going to return a string, which will be the token. And then I'll do an error too, just to follow good form here. Of course, you know, this will always work flawlessly. It's over the internet. So we're going to get a request, an error back from creating an HTTP new request. And that's going to be a post that goes out to, let's see, what is it? HTTPS API.twitter.com. And then I'm 90% sure it's OAuth 2 token. I've done this a few times at this point, fighting with it. And then strings dot new reader, and we'll say grant. Oops, is it? Yeah, grant type, client, credentials. Always playing it risky. And then from there, that should work. I'll do a little check on the error. And let's get a 64 token. Whoops. To work with here. Base 64. Standard encoding. Encode from string or to string, whatever. And then here we need a byte. Whoops. Sprint F, format it. And then this is where I'm going to put my keys and stuff. Key, and then consumer secret. All right, so that'll put together a nice little string for me. What did I do? I'm missing. Damn. Oh, I did that again. Byte array. There we go. And not there. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now I need to add a request header. And one will be for authorization. We'll say basic auth plus the token. And then another header, which is content type. And that is a gnarly longer string identifier. Application dot, what is it? X dot dub 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 dot form dot URL coded. No, URL encoded. Yeah, I'm still surprised the library doesn't do that either, Bobby. I'm kind of perturbed about it. Makes me want to put in a PR that says, here, just do all this crap. Like, why am I doing this? Why? It just is weird. It doesn't seem to make sense, but maybe I'm missing something. Oh yeah, character set equals UTF-8. There we go. Now the response I'm going to get back. I'm going to do an HTTP default client do upon request some thingies. If actually, let's do check again. That'll work for that. And then we need to do a defer response.body.close. So when it's doing its work, it knows it needs to close. And then I need a struct. So let's do var access thing. I don't know what to call it. Struct. We use that to handle the return we get. Access token string JSON, and it'll be dubbed access token in the response, like that. So when we handle it across, we can unmarshal it into this JSON object, make it easier to reference. Oh, and then I'm going to need to do a JSON decoder. So I'm going to actually write it out like this. Oops. JSON new decoder response body, and then decode it and do it to the struct interface of access thingy or access thing. Let's just point at it. Wait, is that the, yeah. An error not equal to nil. Life continues in, and return empty string, format error, handling the JSON token or response. Let's say that. Bloop. There we go. And then if access thing, whoa, not date, access token thing dot access token is equal to this, and return format.arf. Response does not have access token. So there, now we handle the situations that may arise, and then we'll just return access thing dot token and nil. We'll assume that there's no errors at that point, so we can safely return nil as one does in Go. So there, we have a get bearer token function now. Actually, let's just call it get token. Now if we go over to find them, if you saw my last stream, I had set up the various build configurations. So like build and execute Twitz, basically just builds the whole app, then runs that, etc., and it passes in, it has the environment variables and all that stuff. So we're going to start working with find them. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up and see where we are on a build. So right now it's got the old bits in there, which are not working. But it returns these old bits with all this stuff empty, which is kind of confusing at first. I almost would expect a nil or something instead of just an object with a bunch of empty stuff, because then you have to check stuff in the object for it. Anyway, whole different discussion. So let's go ahead and just delete all the stuff we did last time. That's always an awesome feeling. Just delete all the codes. There we go. And also I'm going to not step through that, because in my RTFMing, I found out that I can just pass in a string of the Twitter accounts. I don't have to go through a for loop. I can just pass it the whole string array of accounts and let it churn on those, which is pretty cool. But you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second as I dig through this. All right, so we have an access token now that we can get from the get. Oh, that's not, where's my get keys and tokens? I want to get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. Follow refactor, go to declaration. Oh yeah, we don't need this junk anymore. And we don't need this thing anymore. Build Twitter list. Yep, I want the rest of that. All right. So get token. And then here, I'll put in viper.get string. And then I think it's consumer key, no wait, consumer API key. And then viper.get string, consumer API secret. I think that should be a-okay. And then check error. And then we're going to do config. Oops. We'll point at OAuth probably not set up. OAuth 1. I'm not using OAuth 1. Oh, we need to get rid of that. So, okay. It's saved, so now I got rid of it. So auth 2.config. And let's see if I put that in there, it should. Oh, come on. Don't you know where this is? Let's see here. It is golang.go. Org x.oauth 2. No? You still don't know where it's at? Okay. Run dep. That should get it for us. And then it reindexes. Okay, you reindex for a minute. Also probably need, let's see, github.com/dghubble is the go, Twitter. Whoops, come back here. Why did you? This. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, so we can continue onwards now. So we got the config, and then we need the token that is returned from OAuth. And this will be our access token that we get from that. Then we need to set up an HTTP client. Another thing, if you look at the examples on Go Twitter, they have the older setup for doing this. I forget what it is even now. I'm just going to tell you what the latest, greatest standard is for doing this. You do config.client, not ID, and then you set the context here as background, not whatever it is on the docs. Again, I'm going to set a PR or something, or send them a PR with some of these updates. And then we get a client, our Twitter client. There we go. And we pass it the HTTP client. And that should get us going that far. Twitter list. Yeah, okay. Let's add one little thing here. We're going to do a format, print line, completed Twitter list. Just as kind of like giving us a little more feedback whenever we execute this. So at this point, we need to do user lookup params. But we'll just call it, let's do it this way. Let's do user params. And then point at Twitter. There we go. Dot. And then user lookup params. And this is how you can look up a whole list, right? So there's a screen name, and then you just pass it a string array like this. String blah, 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 blah. But the accounts have to be in formats like this. Like, here's my account, and then here's Thrashing code, for example, right? So that would be passing into accounts. We'll clean up the completed Twitter list in a minute and yank off all the ats, and then we can just pass it this array minus the ats, or rebuild it without the ats, however you do that. At symbols, ats, whatever. So then users, whatever, I don't want this stuff. And then client dot users, and then you look up against the Twitter account with the user params. Yes. And then let's print that stuff out. Print. We'll do format, and then let's put some spacing in it. Users found, or user data. Oh, let's call it info. And then do it below that. % for formatting. And then a new line after that. And then pass in users. So that should get us to that point. And just for fun, let's do how many users found, and we'll count the users array of stuff returned, and we'll print that out too. Print line how many users found. So that just give us a number, right? Should be easy peasy. Now, will it run? Reminds me of that old ad, like, what is return what? Return asterisk asterisk? Where are you talking about exactly, Greendorf? I think I totally just scrolled right past wherever that was that you were talking about. Was it in here? In this function? I'm going to run that while I'm trying to figure out what you meant. Happy to answer. I'm just confused. So if I run that, there we go. So your credentials do not allow access to this resource. That is super rad. When it just dumps them out, why does... So, go back in here. Line 42. Oh. 42, 40. Oh, like the underscore, this thing? Oops. So this thing is just, there's like a, well, this one would be an error. But basically, I put an underscore because I just didn't want to handle it. If you do an underscore for a param, you're just not going to take any action on the returned value. Other file. Oh, helpers. Oh, this. Oh. I'm just saying whenever done, just return an empty string. Because there's an error, that's all. It's throwing an error on an empty string. I guess I could just do no, or whatever the... Oh, it's expecting a string type for the nil. So it does that. Actually, I'm not sure why I even return one there, because it's... So yeah, so I have to return a string. And oh, yeah, it's because I'm returning two variables for get token. And it has to be a string and an error. So if there is an active error, which in this case there would be because the access token isn't available, then I need to return a string with that. Of course, in the error handling, you would write if error not nil, take an action, right? Like spit out the error or print it out or log it or something like that. But I still need to pass a string so that the code continues to execute, or can be written to execute. This would almost be, I keep wishing I had something like C-sharp's, you know, where you can basically have a method signature and have variable number of parameters and just override and have X number of methods. They're called the same thing, but they have different parameters that they either return or you pass. It's a pretty cool feature, but not in Go. If you do a method or a function in Go, you pass it whatever you have designated and you get back whatever you have designated. So if you have a different scenario, you have to still return something for it. You can't do like an override for different scenarios. Unless, of course, someone knows some special Go tricks that I don't know. Yeah. Well, in my defense, too, I get confused a lot of the time. It's that ADHD or something. Is that even right? Yeah. Attention. Yeah. Hyperactivity brain, split brain scenario. So let's see here. Come back over here. Oh yeah. So it's fussing about my credentials. Somebody at Twitter probably heard me talking smack, and I was like, oh, we'll just block his whole account. So that's that one, and then 5G1. His keys are right. I can't access that account? Well, let's just do one. I know I can access Adrian. Huh. Well, I'm going to update him and see what happens. Oh, so something. Always something. Okay, don't get confused, by the way, my thrashing code list printing out. That's just the item that's in here. There's only the one account. Because I'm passing it this. Do I need to do... I don't need to do that. I know I don't need to do that. What is the deal here? So access token. Key and secret. Right? Let's go back and look at my... It's putting them together. It should be putting them together, right? Yeah. 70, that's a conservative estimate, I think. I feel like 90% of my day is, well, when I get to code, 90% of the time is debugging and confusion. The other 10% is actually just slinging out some code that works. At least that's what the return on investment seems to be. So why is this? Your credentials do not allow access to this resource. No, I am perplexed. Again. Oh, Twitter. Into blanks activities. Where is that line at? I'm going to fix that formatting. Oh, it's mixing up the damn code again. Let me actually do a commit. Fixing the Twitter lookup while fighting with Go ecosystem confusion. It is saved. Why does it keep saying? Yeah, that looks good. So git pull. Oops. All. There we go. Yeah, that would be fun. It's also the fun of being polyglot, right? You get to conflate all that stuff all the time. All right, let's see here. I think I'm having that vendor problem again. I've got to figure out how to re-reference this so it's just referenced internally to just the directory. I swear there's a way to do that. Oh, now it's, yeah, see, it keeps blowing up because it's referencing the old broken stuff online. But yes, pull that stuff down again. Let's see what Twitter has to say about this. It's on our site or on Twitter's, but every attempt our app tries to make send a single tweet in the last couple of weeks results in the following error. It doesn't allow access. As the user stream has been experiencing problems for the last couple of weeks. I'm not even asking for anything specific except read-only stuff. This all too commonly seems to be the standard operating procedure of Twitter's OAuth 2. Yeah, that's what I got. Oh, look. C. I don't know, that didn't give me any ideas. Okay, so I just rolled the keys. So the keys are new. We know they're new. Whatever, they don't match my foot. Let's see here. Branch. All. Yeah, let's see what happens if I do check out. Oh, what's my status? Oh, sure, whatever. Reset lock. And get checkout Twitter troubleshooting. Is that, yeah, okay. This is, I had written this up where it was working. So let's see what this says. Same thing? Oh, funny. So this one works. So let's look through this and see if we can figure out what the hell I just did. I'm not actually sure if I was getting a access token back, but when I changed to this, which is basically the identical code to what I just wrote, I wrote this like an hour ago, and I pass in 2 Twitter accounts minus the @ sign. Here's my lookup params, and then I don't know why I have that uppercase. Users. This is literally basically what I just wrote. Then I even did the count there. So it says 2 users. It got 2 users from 2 users. And I pass in API key and API secret key. And then I handle this. Let's actually do check error. Wait. Yeah, I can do that. Check error. Find them command. Yeah, and then helpers. Maybe that is what happened. So I wasn't getting a token back. Let's go troubleshoot that for a minute though, because that needs to be figured out. I need to know why that did that. So get status. I did not really want that uppercased. Okay, and get checkout master clear, and back at it here. And yeah, okay, so it's blown up again with the new keys. But if we knock that out of the way, Yeah, let's print that out. Print line access token. Oh, where did I? That's right after. It's your completed Twitter list is this. Ah. Retrieved. Yeah, that's weird. I may be getting I think I'm getting an access token back. I don't see it here. Into Twitter's. Oh, this is that crap again. Let's do this. Upstream. Following file is currently being committed to VCS. Right. Why is it not? Why are you stupid? Okay. For safety's sake, I am exiting the IDE. Git status. I'm in the master branch. And it's a, okay, push, git pull, everything, right? Yeah, we're all synced up. Yep. So then look at the branches. Master doesn't work. Twitter troubleshooting does. So I'm going to actually do a merge with Twitter troubleshooting. We'll see what happens. So we have a number of things that are now merge conflicts. It's kind of what we wanted, because I want to see what's up. Oh, that's not what I want. Go ain't that hard. I mean, it's not harder than like C#, Java. You just have to know all the nuances of its silliness. Why does it say error while parsing GoLock unexpected token? Is that one of the, yeah, that's one of the things that broke. So let's do this. Let's just make a new dependency file. Just gonna nuke those and then go back to the terminal pertinent to the application. Let's get rid of this. And let's look at the files real quick that need merged, because that could be bad news. So we need to look in helpers. What do we got in here? So what do I have? Just like two. Well, I don't want bearer token. I just want to get, well, bearer token was part of the base that worked. So let's actually go with that. Returns access. Yeah, okay. And then we're going to knock this one out. And find them. Oh yeah, you're fussy about that. Go is also a lot easier when you use something like Golang, because Golang helps fix a lot of the crankiness of Go. You know, the famous Alt-Enter, and then, yeah, go get it. I don't actually want to go get it, though, because I'm going to use dep. But I'm going to reinstantiate it once I clean up the craziness here. So get token. So I want to go to here. Just going to wipe that out, I think. Yeah, that looks cool. And then here, how many users? Yeah, that can stay. That looks good. So let's just do a build locally. No. Oh yeah, of course, dependency stuff. Okay. So now I need to do a dep init, because I blew away the two files pertinent to the management of those dependencies. And that'll take a second for whatever reason. There it goes. So it locked in at these versions. And then that actually looks, the tree looks different than what I had before. Why did it? Oh, whatever. Just comment some stuff out. So I got Go Twitter, Cobra, Viper. It found that and it found OAuth 2. That's what I want. And then it locked at various versions. Okay, that's cool. All my red has gone away, so I should be able to get a build now. Cool. So if I run Twitz, and then let's run via the build thing here. And yes, it is live. Oh, another bio, blah, blah, blah. Yep, that's in my bio link. So that's working now. Needless to say, the API is kind of a little weird, depending on how you want to auth to it and stuff. Once you get it working, though, it's relatively easy to work with. And as you can see here, the users lookup that I'm using, if you take that and you go look at Go Twitter, they have some really other great examples in the examples directory. I think the app auth actually has it. Yeah, so it has this, but it doesn't talk to you again about how to do this part, which I'm a little perplexed by how it thinks you're supposed to get that. But anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll talk to them. But yeah, so there's an individual user show. There's users lookup, which does it per a list, like we just did. There's also status show. Status is lookup. Timeline, search tweets, etc. So a good amount of stuff that you can do with the API. I mean, you basically do almost anything. And I'm sure someone can add the feature if Twitter goes dorking around and changes something. You can just get it added, throw in a PR. So let's see. I'm going to add those files to the commit. There we go. Merge branch that. Yep, that's exactly what happened. What? Yeah, whatever you say. Sure, save now. And push. So we now have data pulling from Twitter. And there's a PR here that I actually want to go through. That just has some simple housekeeping stuff, but pertinent to any project. So if we go to the project out at github.com/Adrian/Twitz, we look at it, the GitHub README is still blah. It's just the standard default thing whenever you set up a Jekyll theme via going in through the settings directory or settings tab and then clicking on the button down here that says, well, it doesn't say it once you've done it, but it says create site, blah, blah, blah. So I said enforce HTTPS and created it at this location. So then it takes the README file, applies the Jekyll theme, and this is the pretty little thing that shows up. Well, I went in, not on stream, and I created a pull request that has two things. You can see there's a build for the merge process now and some other stuff. Let's look at that real quick. So I basically changed it out and added some pertinent stuff to what is actually going on in the code, also how to use the CLI and how to pull it down to contribute to it. And what's this? I fixed the build reference so that it will show up in Travis. Thus, since I'm the only person to review it, I guess I can't pick myself, but I can assign myself to take care of this. I'll do that. And I'm going to create merge. Yep, that looks good. Works for me. It's so easy to agree with myself. I just wrote a README. Nobody wanted to watch me write a README, right? I mean, that's documentation. It's boring. I say that, but it's so not fair. So I added that and deleted the branch. So that's gone. Oh, there's my Twitter troubleshooting stuff. I guess I can get rid of that now too. And then here's the documentation now. So we got the dev setup, which is if you pull a clone, you can just do dep ensure, then you go build and start working on it. The post installation prereqs, which I need to add a little bit more to, because right now I just have file and export written down, but I need to add it to what actually needs to be in there. Because if we go back and look at the config file, twitz.yml, it needs all three of these things. So let's actually take that. And here I'm going to do git pull so I can sync up. There we go. And then go in here. Where's my word wrap? Yes. All right, ensure. Yeah, it's another reason why I do it off stream. Then you don't have to see me retype lines 50,000 times. There it is. So let's see here. This is what needs to be there. The Twitter's.txt file. You'll need at least that. Right now, mine just has that in it. I'm going to actually put all this stuff in it, though. Like so. And I'm going to get rid of this other example because I'm just going to have the one in there. No reason to make it complicated. So this is the kind of file, the text file, that you can make, put all your stuff in, and then have it parse it. So that's what that looked like when I started umpteen days ago streaming about this. And if we go back and we just look at parse, do a build. Oops. There you go. Now you see the whole list. It just pulled out the nice clean list of Twitter accounts. And then it did an export of the tweeters to a text file, which is right here. And there's the list. Nice clean list. So anyway, back to the README file. These are the three settings you need to set. I'll add a section later, post this triumvirate of streams, video streams, on building this thing. I'll do some work post the tutorials and everything here and continue on making it a useful CLI application. But right now, it has the pertinent parts to be able to pull it down, what most of the commands are, and things like that. So it's a cool little README file. And it now has the Travis build in it. So let's commit that one little change. Git add. Added the pertinent configuration file settings to, to README.md docs. So now, when we go out to the site, well, isn't that trippy? Like I go to the white page, I go back to the IDE, and everything goes doc. I'll go back to documentation, and everything's well lit. It's insane. But yeah, so if we go here now, and we look at the README file, so that's updated. And we can do two things that I want to look at. One, refresh this page. Hey, it already ran. So now on this site, if somebody goes out to this site to check out Twitz, they'll be able to go to the project, they'll be able to look at the build status, and basically get the lowdown on what it does and what you can do to it. So and I'll be adding more to this real soon. So I'm gonna make it a useful little app. So if you wanna use it to do things with Twitter accounts to kind of keep up with and interact with people on Twitter, it'll become more and more of a useful application. Let's see here. One other thing I wanted to do. Oh, I also have this example link directly. Oh yeah. So let's go actually look at the build. It says we couldn't find the repository. So let me sign in. Let's go get this puppy working. So it can't find Twitz. Why can't it find Twitz? There it is. Oh, maybe. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's go look at the link here. So maybe it's case sensitive. How does that look? That looks like that. So we'll just put that in here. And if I've missed anything visually, it'll just fix it. Fixing the build badge. All right, come on, do a build, damn it. Commit, push, build. Oh, do I not have a... I know what I did. It says... Where's the option? Build, push branch, build, pull, request. Yeah, I think I need to... Oh yeah. I don't have a build file. I need a travis.yml file. File travis.yml. I don't know if it's that or that. Yes, let's add it. And then let's see here, Travis YAML build config. Let's just do golang travis build CI YAML. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so go precise trusty Xenial minimal example. Let's grab that. Yeah, I'm adding a Travis right now. Do I have to do, is it .travis.yml or just Travis YAML? I always forget. Oh, I know what I can just go. Oh, cool. Okay. travis.yml. So I think I named it right. Let's do that, and then .11, .x, right? What? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm going to give it a minute. It should start building. Come on. Video, Twitz. Oh, that's the other thing. Video. Huh. Travis.yml. Oh, I know that one works. Let's try that. Oh yeah, I got quotes in this one. Oh yeah, just do master for the global build. Oh yeah, get out of there. And Travis. Well, let's see if that works first. No, I don't want to do refactor. Just there we go. Pushing for a green lit build. Yo. Okay. Still nothing. Come on. Okay, I'm going to change the name of the file too. Oh, maybe it doesn't do YAML. You have to do YAML. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, of course. Oh, don't you just love that? Let's have a format and we'll do multiple extensions just, you know, for fun. Now, come on. Unknown, current. Build history. Oh, what's this fussing about? Oh, do I need to do that? I might need to do that. Well, it should just blow up without the environment variables. But it's just a build. It should just do a build. It doesn't need environment variables to do a build. So here we go. All right. Progress finally. Very specifically to note, the project needs a .travis.yml file. This probably doesn't need to be in quotes, and it appears to be working now. "35 seconds. That's a long time to do a go build. I mean, we know it builds though, right? See, go build. See, haha, works on my machine. Oh, an error. Cool. Something to figure out. What happened? 1.1 errored. So it went and got all this stuff. And then eval go get. Case insensitive import collision. Oh. I wonder if that's the problem with my other stuff. Let's fix that. All right, so go back out here, list. Yeah, let's do make dir Adrian. Yep, now we got 2 directories. Let's go into Adrian here. I'm gonna open up the navigator. And we'll take Twitz and copy it over to Adrian. Exit out of there. And then it's kind of insane, but whatever. And there we go. All right, so the badge it'll be updated. So we got a build, but the build broke, which is a load of crap. We don't want a broken build. So let's see here. Just leave it there refreshed for a while. Build status. We'll go in here. All right, so close this one. And open the project in here. Here we go. Go build. Whoops. Go build. I'm going to run the dependency management again to pull that in. Well, the badge should be updated. It takes me to the right place, which shows a red one. Yeah, right? Yeah, okay. So then if we go to look at the error, I can't believe it took 4 minutes for that thing to build. And if I go in here, oops, there we go. Yeah, that one shouldn't be there. Is it anywhere else? I think that's about it. Parse. So my local build is good. All right. Oops. Commit with the appropriate number of M's. All right. So fixed case sensitivity issue. Git push. I might need to. Does it have my stuff in here wrong? No. And then the lock. Oh yeah, here we go. I gotta have to fix that. Adrian. Yeah. I should have left it lowercase. I know. Probably should have, but I'm gonna be hard-headed and not do it uppercase. I mean, lowercase. Seconds away from a good build. And it'll probably take 5 minutes to build again. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever. Let's look at the build history real quick. So bad error. That one. Can I just cancel? Let's cancel that one. That need to continue. This is the one that needs to continue. Running for 50 minutes. Let's hope not. That was one loud motorcycle. I don't know if y'all heard that or not. Somebody's just too cool for school or whatever dorky thing for that. Yeah, could be part of the crankiness. You know, yay for case sensitivity. Why did that come up? That's not what I wanted. I thought opera was, oh, I was going to make a joke, whatever. It's not that funny anyway. Github, nope. Github.com. Come on, badge. Ah, brutal. Why is it copy image location? Do I have it spelled wrong or something? Oh, that one says error. That's not what it is, though. Oh, is this one? 3.1 is good. Wait, what? Twitz. Updating gimme. Everything worked. But what is this? This one's not working? 3.2 is not working? Yet, I guess, whatever. How fast did that one build? It built in 57 seconds. That seems logical. But let's markdown. Give me that. And we'll make sure that the file is at least set right. There we go. Well, that looks basically like what I had in. Oh, remember I had changed it to lowercase, and this is another one of those things where it is distinctively case sensitive. And since I'm all like an English nut, I spell my name with a capital A because it's a proper noun. Heaven forbid. And it goofs up my case sensitivityness of the Unixiness land. Fix the case sensitivity of proper English. Not that it really matters. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, so there we go. And that'll update 1 year, I guess. Wow, still running. Here, I'm going to cancel that build. Because really, what was the difference between this one and that other one? Yeah, that just seems kind of not right. Oh, but I'm already on, like, is it just on auto build now? Auto build till it works? Haha, lols. travis.yml Twitz. Error. Okay. Alright, you keep building. And we're going to go back over here. Alright, so run down real quick of where we got to. Got config, kind of pseudo masked for the consumer API and API key secret. And find them. We use the API key and secret to get a bearer token access token. We use that then to go in here, verify via OAuth 2, and get information about myself and Linadroid's Twitter accounts. And then it spits it out. And then do a little count of them at the end, which isn't really pertinent, but I put it there anyway. So I have fulfilled almost every single feature thing that I was going to do for this application. Let's see here. So altogether, it parses the list, pulls out the Twitter accounts. Oh, and I guess, yeah, one last thing. Let's work on that for a minute. So I actually want to take this list. Wonder what happens if I do that. Do at. Oh, not parse. Let's do find them. Okay, so it still pulls the account. So I should be able to do this and take that out and just put in completed Twitter list. Should work. And let's see what we get. Oh, what? 2? Oh, let's see. Print format, the Twitter list here. Oh, I don't want to do that. Getting details for this. Yes, I want that there. And then check. Ow. Then print F. And then print how many users. Oh, we're not doing... We're doing that. We're doing a completed Twitter list. Completed Twitter list should have a bunch of them in there because it's all of these. Still says 2. Let's throw that into the build though. Oh, is it still fussing about that? All right. PDX TST for all your extreme weather reporting needs. All right, that has the, yep, that has the updated bit in it, which is still showing the wrong thing. Twitz, find them. Oh, that's intriguing. Oh, does not have an access token now. Oh, I know why. It's because my local instance doesn't have the correct access token and everything, and in the environment variables anymore. Because earlier I refreshed the environment variables, so it broke that. But anyway, not super relevant. I'll make notes of that in the blog entry I write up for this, so there isn't any confusion. On that note, let's go back out and see if we have a build. What's our build history look like? So the last one, number 4, passed. Merge branch Twitter troubleshooting. Oh, and that one took 4 minutes too. Let's go bounce in here. So 1.11 finishes in, 52 seconds. And the other one takes a while. Let's go into the GitHub README again and take a look at the YAML. Travis YAML 111 and master. Let's do this. I wonder if well, it's doing 2 builds basically. One for 1.11.x and then one for master specifically, it looks like. It's build history. And it's still working on this one, which is gimme output. What is gimme output telling me? It's just taking forever, I guess. Well, oh, now it says 2 minutes. That's cool. Anyway, at this point, I'm going to slowly wrap up here. But we got all that stuff done. We have all the functionality in there. The app just needs a little bit of cleanup and everything. So as far as the Twitch streams pertinent to Twitz, I'm going to call this a wrap for this main core set of 3 streams. So I'm going to have this as a video set building this Twitz application. I may have some subsequent streams pertinent to this, but I've also set up to do a bunch of other streams around actual beginning Go coding and things like that that will interrupt it. So this is going to go on the back burner a little bit, but for now, I'm going to consider this one completed, and eventually, yeah, the repo is going to have the appropriate green build badge. So you can rest assured of that. I'll get it fixed. And as always, I will wrap this up by putting a write-up out on, whoops, that's not what it is, the Composite Code blog, just like I did the first of this series out here now, where you can go, you can check out the video. I timestamp everything so you can speed pass to specific parts that you want to check out and things like that. And also I put in code snippets of the pertinent parts so it's easier to kind of get through if you're just using it as reference material or whatever. So on that note, have a kick-ass evening and a great weekend, and I will see everybody in the next stream. Cheers.